Hi, I'm Ashley of Blair Maiden Patterns, and this is the tutorial for the Ruffle Bottle Bag. I can't wait to see all your creations, and if you enjoyed this pattern, be sure to leave me a 5-star review on Etsy, and I would love to see everything you create on Instagram, so be sure to tag me at Blair Maiden on there as well. Okay, let's get started. I'll be demonstrating sewing the standard size in this tutorial. A quick note before we begin. If you want your bag to be shorter, you can trim any amount off the top of the pattern piece. Here are all the pattern pieces you'll need. 2 body pieces for the bag, both cut on the fold, 1 fusible piece, which is optional but will give your bag more structure, 2 ruffle pieces, and 1 handle piece. The first thing we're going to do is iron the fusible onto the wrong side of the outer bag piece, which we'll call bag 1. Once that's done, take both bag body pieces, bag 1 and bag 2, and fold them right sides together, lining up the long edges. Pin the edges together. On bag 2, make sure to leave a small 3-inch opening along one of the sides. This will be used to turn everything right side out later. Sew down the sides using a 1 centimeter seam allowance. And be sure to remember the 3 to 4 inch gap on bag 2. After the sides are sewn, we're going to box the bottom corners. Flatten each corner so that the side seam lines up with the folded bottom edge and forms a triangle like this. Repeat this on all 4 corners. Sew across with a 1 centimeter seam allowance. Next, clip the folded points close to the seam without cutting the seam itself so the corners will open cleanly. After that, press all the seams open on both bag pieces. Now take your ruffle pieces. We're going to sew a double rolled hem on the bottom long edge. Fold the fabric 5 millimeters, then fold it again by another 5 millimeters and press it. After pressing, take it to the machine and top stitch the hem. On the opposite long edge, the raw edge, we'll gather the ruffle. Sew 2 rows of basting stitches. The first basting stitch at 5 millimeters from the edge and the second stitch just below it. Pull the bobbin threads together. Gather each piece until it measures 17 centimeters for the regular bag or 19.5 centimeters for the large bag. I use a ruler and clips to hold the gathers in place as I measure. Sorry my head is covering up this entire part, but as you can see, I am just stretching out the ruffle so it measures 17 centimeters for each ruffle piece. And then when I attach them all together, I will take away 4 centimeters total, and that will get me to 30 centimeters, which is the circumference of the bottle bag. This part is always tricky for me to get the measurement right, so take your time. Once you've adjusted the gathers, sew the 2 ruffle pieces together at the short edges with a 1 centimeter seam allowance to create a full loop. Then finish those seams with a zigzag stitch if you'd like. Now we'll attach the ruffle to bag 1. Turn bag 1 right side out. Place the ruffle on the outside of the bag with the wrong side of the ruffle fabric facing the right side of bag 1. The finished hem of the ruffle should be pointing downward. Sew them together using a 0.5 centimeter seam allowance. I removed the accessory box from my machine to make space. It's a tight fit with a smaller size, so just take your time and gently guide the fabric through. Next, take bag 2, which should still be wrong side out. Insert bag 1 with the attached ruffle inside bag 2, matching right sides together at the seams. Make sure the ruffle is sandwiched between the 2 layers. Line up the top edges and pin. Sew around the top with a 1 centimeter seam allowance, making sure you sew past the basting stitches so none will show. This seam will be thicker, so go slowly and move the fabric along as needed. It may take a little pushing, but you can do it. Once that's done, pull bag 1 through the opening left and bag 2. Turn both bags right side out. Now it's time to close the hole in bag 2. Press the top seam, then close the gap with a small top stitch. Place bag 2 inside bag 1. The ruffle will now stand straight up. Fold the top of the bag and ruffle down to your desired length. I do about 7 centimeters, but you can test it with a bottle to see what you like. Now onto the handle. The finished handle will be 3 centimeters wide. Fold the piece in half lengthwise and press to create a center crease. Open it, then fold each long edge in towards that crease and press again. You'll end up with 4 equal long sections. To finish the ends neatly, fold the handle in half with right sides together so the short ends meet. Sew across the short end with a 1 centimeter seam allowance. Trim close to the seam, then turn the end right side out. Trim close to the seams on both ends, then flip the handle right side out, tucking the folded pieces in. Push out the corners with something pointy like small scissors, but be careful not to cut through the fabric. Press in place and then top stitch the open part of the handle at 5 millimeters to complete the handle piece. To attach the handle, insert about 3 centimeters of one end inside the top of the bag at one of the side seams and pin. Sew a reinforced box with an X inside to secure it, like this. This will take some maneuvering, but it's pretty simple. Repeat on the opposite side with the other end of the handle, making sure the handle isn't twisted. And that's it! Your Ruffle Bottle Bag is complete. I hope you love how it turned out. Be sure to share your finished projects with me on Instagram and Etsy. I can't wait to see your beautiful creations.